And we should be back with Barrier Blitz, of course, the speedrunning event where top 8 runners of this Pokemon game try to get that world record or the best time in the next 2 days. With me, of course, still Sheepy and Soup. My name is Redditor Jake, and we're spectating our runners again. And because we are in quite of the lull right now, we've come up with a little competition between us. Do you want to elaborate?
Yeah, sure. Well, at the beginning of our commentating stint, Jake promised us some good dad jokes, so I challenged him to a little bit of a competition. We're all gonna we'll start with the first dad joke. All of us will say one, and chat, you get to vote on who wins. I mean, I know everyone's a loser with dad jokes, but we still want you to decide on a winner. So,
are they voting on the worst one or the best one, or is that the same?
I think that's pretty similar. So well, you could do that, Jordan, but I mean, that's your prerogative, I guess.
Who wants to go first?
I mean, I could. So, what do you call a Magikarp in a suit? Sophisticated.
Nice.
You're even going for the Pokemon dad jokes. Very nice. I'll go second. Why can't a lady ant swim? It's not boy ant.
That is above my English grade.
I have to think about that for a second. That is almost too clever to be a dad joke, I feel like.
What does Beedrill use to comb its hair? A honeycomb.
Dang.
And there's a raid amoeba. Thank you. Of course, for the people that are new to this is Barrier Blitz, the event where top 8 runners, or top 10 runners because one of the top 8 couldn't make it, try to break the record in Pokemon Let's Go, Eevee and Pikachu. And we're on a bit of a lull, so we're doing a dead joke.
Alright. I got one.
Alright.
How can you tell if your mouse has corona?
I don't know.
When it goes, Pikachu.
Not bad. Not bad.
Alright, time to vote. It's not gonna get better for me than that, so lock up the win.
Yeah, I actually think, Unova Matt improved on your joke, Jake. Because instead of like a honeycomb, it should be a comb bee. So I actually think that Chet wins this.
Chet wins. That's a good way. Alright. Let's focus back on the runs, I say.
With this kind of commentary, Chad always wins, of course. So.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
The first with the deep voice is Jake. I'm Sheep, and the third one is Soup.
Yep.
Yep. No Jordan means you kick Chad.
By the way, Jake, I don't really know what you do for a living or something in real life, but I think you should definitely, if you're not sure what to do yet, you should become an announcer of some type, because you do. I said this before, but I keep thinking like you definitely have the low.
Well, I do use my voice in real life, but not in the way you'd expect it. I scream at kids.
I see.
Yeah. No.
and they scream back.
Yes. I work with traumatized kids. That's quite literally my job.
I was about to say, well, it's Germany, right? But then I guess I'm going to retract that comment.
Maybe yes. All right.
Well,
we have Etiquette, the spreadsheet speedster, going into Rock Tunnel pretty soon.
25 is kind of a nice count, right? Before
he did say earlier that his run is quite behind, and he's looking to see how Tunnel goes.
Yeah, I was gonna say the time's not very good, but 25 is at least a kind of nice count.
Do you guys have some nicknames for the runners? I tried to come up with some, but I couldn't get them for everyone. I had the finisher for Caternies. That was quite low-hanging fruit.
The finisher. Oh, that's not bad.
I
See,
just
but
finished.
they're already kind of. I mean, we already all have nicknames, so that's kind
That
of
is true.
good. But maybe we can come up with an edgy one for, you know.
Now entering the ring, JS, the bait and pass behemoth.
Not bad, not bad.
Baton pass, actually.
Channeling a little bit of that angry German voice kind of thing. Yeah, I like it.
Don't you dare.
Well, I'm sure you're familiar with the video, right? Of what German sounds like to other people.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's...
I mean, it's the only language that sounds better when you shout it.
I mean, yeah.
Just let me give you some... I mean, I always think, like, there's nothing you can do to stop me from having these thoughts, so you might as well lean into it, because I'm gonna keep thinking Schmetterling anyway, so...
True.
Yeah.
While Kerbis is riding his Galoppa, we'll get
Nice.
to see him actually fighting Koga soon, I believe.
What is the strangest German Pokemon? Because in the Netherlands we just get the English names, and I
really?
later figured out when I was an adult, well, you know, technically speaking an adult, I found out that Ekans is just snake backwards. But because I was a small child when I first saw Pokemon, I of course never realized because it's in English. But I guess I'm asking is what is the strangest, or I guess the name that would be very strange to us in German.
What is Murkrow's evolution called in English again?
Honchkrow?
Honchkrow, yeah. In Germany, it's Kramchef.
Nice. I very much appreciate you channeling the Schmetterling vibe as well. Yeah.
And what in German? It's either what is it? Great potions or is it super balls?
Oh, that is so infuriating. Now, you have potion, super potion, hyper. It's the same. It's Supertrank, Hypertrank. But for balls, now in English you have Pokeball, Great Ball, Ultra Ball. In German you have Pokeball, Super Ball, Hyper Ball. So I routinely mix those one up in my own speedruns, which is not great, I can tell you that much.
I mean, it's a nice order to it, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, what is a Butterfree called in German?
Butterfree.
Freie Schmetterling.
No, it's just Smetbo.
Oh, okay.
Not even that bad.
Cool.
I'll call something funny out if I see it
Yeah.
on stream, I guess.
Curb is hitting the Tentacruel
That's pretty cruel.
Just wanted a hug.
Yeah.
That's not what you want right now. Still on a solid pace.
Yeah. He still has to find the Starmie. There's one.
There's two. So here, if this Starmie is like 985, I would consider. Oh, even 1019, I would consider going for the other one.
Would you consider it on this pace though, or just on a?
I have no idea what kind of pace he's on, to be honest.
He's on a really good pace.
Yeah, well, I guess it depends, right? Like, are you going to be outsped now at Blaine, and are you going to miss a bunch of ranges later on and stuff like this? Because then it's going to cost you more time than it would to pick up the other Starmie.
That was 19. That said.
That's pretty low.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see.
Because, I mean, it was between 950 and 1160 or something, right?
Yeah, that's not
But
quite below a third, I think. But
yeah, but I imagine it's more like it's not evenly distributed, right? Like it's almost impossible to have a perfectly bad or a perfectly good one. So usually you're gonna be somewhere in the middle. I gotta imagine it's like a bell curve distribution, if that makes any sense to you. But
Yeah.
yeah, that makes sense.
so you're usually gonna get something, but if the range is between 960 and 1160 or something, then you're almost always gonna get something between 1000 and 1120.
Do any of you guys happen to know how many evolutions Kerbis still has to do? He's kind of
I-
Grimer here, which means,
Yeah.
which could mean he's quite
we can
low
see
on
here.
catches.
No, I think he still has. He has Starmie. He has a
Parrot.
Pidgeot.
And he has the two gift
Muk and the
Pokemon.
2 gift Pokemon. So I think
Yeah,
this
he's
is
down.
Porygon
okay.
Lapras.
Yeah,
This
he's,
is the last.
he's fine. Yeah. Almost taught over Psychic. That would be a little bit of a disaster.
Well, you have to move your learner in Victory or in the E4 building.
You could actually go to. I always forget the name of this, but the one where Silphco is, the city. You can actually. There's the Psychic TM is in the house there, but obviously that would be too way too slow.
Yeah, and in Saffron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it would be faster than going all the way up to the move read learner.
Or just reset. That would be probably the slowest.
Yeah.
Also in like the bottom 3 runners are Etchy, Caternies, and Geos are all really close together in time and in catches. So that's also something interesting to keep an eye out because I mean
So
right
are we
now
gonna-
they're maybe behind, but in 2 hours time that could be a really close race. Let's hope so at least.
Definitely.
So the Gym Freaks run is still the Annie run, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he is still okay.
Yeah.
And he made it to Bill.
Yeah.
And look, Curb is showing off a weird, well, an extra feature of the second player. Normally, second player can't interact with other Pokemon or trainer or whatever, but it will stop an enemy trainer who spotted you from walking towards you.
Yeah.
So right here, Curb has put the partner right next to a scientist stat, and then could walk to the left side. I think it's been time that's not actually faster anymore, but
It's a little bit weird, right? Because
Is it not?
the second.
Because you do
Because
the two-player fight anyway.
yeah, but it's the difference between talking to it or getting seen. That's still like
Oh, right.
a difference in time. It's very close.
And you have to call in the second trainer after going down the ladder, ideally.
Yeah.
And then I think you even have to pause a little bit, or at least I could never really get it in a way that you could immediately start walking. So you're even pausing just a little bit to get the second trainer into place. So I can totally imagine that it would be a little bit faster to just talk to Ted. Have a little
Yeah.
TED talk.
Yeah. In the olden days when they didn't allow the second controller, that was one of the worst
Yeah.
fights in the game.
Yeah.
He was awful. Everyone would lose like 40 or 50% of their runs just to Ted.
Yeah, because there's a big level jump from the previous trainer that you fight. And
Yeah.
it's a really terrible matchup for Starmie because it
Yeah.
both outspeeds Starmie and has the super effective Thunderbolt.
Yeah, and you actually like had to have like a high enough special defense. If you had a low special defense Starmie, that was just a massive problem.
I think there were even some strategies to just keep Eevee around and then use Eevee for the Electrode. But I don't quite remember. Crazy times though. Oh, so Kerbis is skipping this rare candy, which is not very far out of the way. So really trying to maximize. You know, that's a thing that you're skipping that only takes about 10-15 seconds to pick up. So
Maybe he picked one up earlier, like an extra one. I'm not sure. Maybe he picked one up at like Route 6, and so he had like enough candies for this star.
Yeah,
that
maybe.
He didn't need another one.
Yeah. And it's as hard as it is for you guys at home to follow this insanity. I can't describe it other way. Anything else. It is quite hard to watch 8 streams at once.
To be honest,
and
I'm most of the
comment-
time, yeah, I'm just watching one of the streams at a time. To be honest, because
Yeah.
Well, good news. We have all of our 8 runners back doing attempts right now.
yeah,
Headstrong just started.
Actually going for the Clefable.
good work.
Bless RNG in chat.
Just throw the balls right away. Get an excellent throw.
Really?
I mean, if it breaks
Oh
out,
no.
yeah.
On the third.
Gator needs
So I
to
actu-
reset.
I actually think that Clefable is a little bit worse than Chansey in both ways. It gives a little bit less experience, and it's a little bit harder to catch.
But he's got it on the second try.
Yeah.
which is
Yeah,
pretty
but
good.
it is. But at the same time, it seems like it wasn't even a glowing one.
No.
So
doesn't
then
look like
once
it.
it's more like damage control now, right? After not catching it the first time. Like it would have only been good if he got it on the first try, I would say. As
Yeah,
much
but-
of an
but-
experienced fan as I am, that's just too much time for the experience.
Yeah, and you
Would-
lose like the first ball bonus, which is massive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you catch an ongoing one in your runs usually?
The risk reward, especially on a Clefable, it's very risky. I guess it would have to depend on how badly I needed it. If I was still missing a catch or something, then, or I was still missing a bunch of experience, then I would very strongly consider it. But
Yeah, if,
You
if
know,
you're
by
not,
the-
if you're not hitting 15, it's definitely like worth the risk because
Yeah.
you're otherwise very likely to reset anyway. It's actually in Etiquette's notes. He
Yeah.
actually has like if you get to Cerulean, he said if you're not 15, better look next run. He
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
even go for like go up to Nugget Bridge and then do Misty second. That's not in his notes. He says, well, better look
That
next
is quite
time.
slow, yeah. Yeah,
Look,
I
and
think
the-
in Etchy's case here, he was 16 now. I believe he got 2 levels, which means it was probably more optimal to get that Clefable than praying for a Ekans or a Charmander before you arrive there.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, let me put it this way. I think it's, technically speaking, kind of always worth it, because for the same reason that, like, why would we want to catch a Graveler in Rock Tunnel, but then not a Clefable in Mount Moon, right? Because Mount Moon is a lot earlier, so the experience is worth a lot more there. It's just if it's not glowing, then the risk reward is just a bit worse than if it is glowing.
Yeah, we see
Kind of simple like this, yeah.
there's a question in chat about glowing, and what Rebello said is correct. There are like 3 types of glowing Pokemon that you can see in this game that spawn. Red shining, blue shining, or stars. If the Pokemon has stars around it, that means it's a shiny Pokemon, an actual shiny Pokemon. We use shining, but they're not actually shiny. If it's either red or blue shining, that means it has like a glow around it, and that means
Yeah.
it's either a size-wise or weight-wise, it's bigger than normal or smaller than normal, and that gives an extra EXP bonus.
Yeah, and
and
it's
that can
usually
be
1.5.
like, yeah,
And I
normally
think
1.5, and like about 10% of the time, we're not exactly sure, but it seems to be like around 10% of the time it can be a super big or a super small Pokemon, and then it gives 4.5 times the amount of EXP, and that's a massive
I thought-
difference.
I thought it was 4, not 4.5, but yeah. I'm not sure.
No, I think
But-
4.5 is correct.
Wow, so that's even better. So yeah, a bit, to me personally, a big part of wanting to catch a glowing Chansey or glowing Clefable in Mount Moon is for those extremely rare times that it's actually the extra large or extra small one, and then you're just...
Level
That's-
20 at Misty.
Well, that's the kind of thing that a world record run is made of, right? That kind
Yeah.
of luck.
I think a while ago, I believe it was Caternies posted a clip in the Switch Pokemon Speedrun Discord about catching a glowing Chansey on Route 6 just before Vermilion City,
Mhm.
and it was a massive one and a Wombo Chansey, and I think Caternies went from like level 19 to level 27. On the Eevee, so that's like massive EXP.
That is, yeah, and that exactly, and the ranges that can save you.
There are no ranges anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Like
I
that
think
is maybe what
probably-
you need in this event.
So, for example, there's a Eradicate on Route 9, which is usually the question is like, do I use the electric move first to paralyze it and then use 2 other moves? So then it would be a 3-turn fight, but I can totally imagine at level 27, it's just a matter of 1 headbutt.
I think it's still 2 headbutts, but yeah. Well,
Or at
normally
level
that-
20, if you hit 28, then you just double edge it and
Yeah,
no problem.
but even then, you save the animation for paralyzing.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's
that's
just an
just-
example of a fight where you might save 2 entire turns, which is almost as much as all the leveling up time takes. And you have to get those levels at some point anyway, right? So it's only really the levels of the other things in your party that don't necessarily have to gain the levels that slow you down.
Oh yeah. Imagine like a cocoon Pokemon in your party while catching that. You're actually gonna lose time over the course of the run. Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, it depends on the situation.
Yeah, Etiquette calling out in chat that this run might be reset by Blaine.
Yeah.
Not feeling happy.
Don't get attached to his run.
It's not any.
No, it's not any.
No.
Jimfrey actually getting the Abra on the way back,
Yeah, I mean,
assuming that they will be able to catch it. Abra is kind of a troll.
Yeah, but very good for Pikachu to find. I'm not sure if they have a
So-
grown it.
are most Pokemon banana or monkeys? Because they all seem to get mesmerized by a banana throw at them.
Honestly,
I mean, it's. I mean,
you would
bananas-
too.
Bananas are good, right? You just sit down and eat one.
Well,
I mean,
that's-
I would be stunned as well if someone chucked a banana in my face.
yeah, that's a great point.
Question
I
is
mean,
why
I'm not
why
that
do
bad.
they not run when someone chucks a raspberry in their face?
I guess it's kind of technically, well, maybe there's some sort of,
I mean,
because
they,
it's technically a nanap and not a banana, so maybe there's like, instead of potassium, there's some sort of drugs in the banana that, you know, make them very slow moving, like a koala bear.
you know, why can't we throw these nana berries to like spinners and slow them down? I mean, that would be amazing.
That would be great. Or like in Breath of the Wild, that you throw them on the floor somewhere, and then the Yiga clan people just sort of trip towards them, and then you can pass them. That would be even better. You wouldn't have to
Can we
fight
do that
anything.
in the Elite Four?
Yeah, that would be great.
I think you still need to beat them in this game. Like the doors won't open if you don't beat them.
Okay, well maybe some trainers that you can't really walk past.
Maybe
that
you
aren't
can
really
do the
part of
Elite
the story.
Four before the champ, and then they just one-shot half of their Pokemon. The analogy has gone too far, I assume.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not quite sure.
Like with the beasts in Breath of the Wild, the 4 dungeons.
Oh, I see what you're saying now. Yeah. No, that definitely didn't go too far. It's just I didn't make the same connection. You're right, though. However, in Breath of the Wild, if you eat bananas, you actually become stronger and not stoned. So I think maybe this is that's where the analogy breaks.
Now, Charmander Gamer, this game is weird, right? Because there's no actual HMs in the game. It's secret techniques that Eevee or Pikachu learn. And for flying, it is because they don't know the move Fly. You can either go to the Eevee or Pikachu menu, if you menu 1 up after pressing X or the corresponding button. There's a big play menu where you can use that secret techniques, or you just go with the map, which is significantly faster.
And you don't even really fly. You just sit in like this weird air balloon contraption thingy that Pikachu or Eevee knows how to use, apparently.
Because they've looked at it for 2 seconds.
And they're really smart.
If Alakazam has an IQ of 400, what IQ does the partner Pokemon in this game have?
I mean, Eevee obviously a lot higher than Pikachu.
You think so?
I mean, even looking at the anime, Pikachu wasn't that smart.
I mean, all Pokemon basically all they do is repeat their own name, right? So, 25?
Meowth.
Yeah. 27 maybe?
Yeah, they're like just ahead of like a chair,
Yeah.
but not by much.
Yeah.
And I mean, the real intelligent people are always like rivals. For example, like Hop in Gen 8, he knows all about type advantages.
Oh,
Yeah.
Those are the real smart people.
Oh yeah, Hop is at least 47. At least. I mean, whew. So, Gym Freak is kind of at the make it or break it point, or I guess one of the many make it or break it points of the run, where kinda on Route 10 things sorta have to spawn in your favor, or you're gonna lose a bunch of time.
well, Kerbis is heading into Archer right now, which is another make it or break it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and he seems to be around like
Oh, there's 3 Nanips there. What the? Okay.
yeah. Kirby seems to be like 3 minutes behind the world record.
Wait, why did he pick up? Why did he pick that up? Was that a mistake?
Maybe just spamming A in
Yeah.
anticipation.
That's gotta be a mistake, right? Because he's done with catches.
I would think so, yes.
I don't know. Maybe you can sell them,
Or
but
maybe
I
it was.
wouldn't know why.
That would
I
take
don't-
way too long.
I don't think it takes an item slot for your god menu, so. Yeah, in this game, the item bag, there's been a lot of routing in the item bag, and Kirby said it was a mistake. But there's a lot of routing in making sure like your item bag is in a very set order, and mostly like your X items and your potions. And they call that like the god menu. And it's very interesting, just like the thought that went into it and when they use what items. So you always know, like, okay, if I am in this fight and I need to use an X special attack, I just press up and then I'm at X special attack.
Yeah.
Or if I need an X attack, I press up, and then I'm at the... It just makes like consistency, so you don't need to like look where the item is. And it's such a really nice, like if you run this game and you follow the notes, it's really convenient and really nice because you just know where it is. And it's just so much thought went into that, making sure that works. And if there's like a routing change where they buy different items to actually like account for that, and it's really cool.
It's not just convenient; it's also just faster every time. Every time you save like a few fractions of a second, but you add that up a bunch of times, then eventually you're saving whatever, 10 seconds or something. Yeah, pretty
Ooh,
good.
Gym Freak getting horrible crabby luck there with the controller. I don't know what's going on there. Finally.
Kooky, kooky.
That
That would
looked really awful for a second.
that looked really frustrating. I would be
Yeah.
totally crabby after that.
And and just for the record, sometimes it just is like that. It's not in particular the runner's fault. The Joy-Cons aren't the most reliable thing in the world.
Yeah, Eddie deserved better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But he
to
is
be
still
clear,
pretty okay.
you can
going to-
also do everything right, and then something suddenly breaks out anyway, right? So there's
Yeah.
multiple layers of how the game can mess you up.
Yeah, there's still the RNG factor.
But the motion controls are also, I mean, that's kind of
Yeah.
RNG.
Yeah, so everyone watching that's like interested in like seeing this run and like, hey, is this a fun run to speedrun? In my experience, it's one of the most fun speedrunning games I've played. It's like there's not just following the route and it's pure execution based. The fights are actually pretty easy, most of them, and you just have to like think and like plan ahead a bit, so make sure you have enough catches to get to Koga. But it's a really beginner friendly run. I mean, you won't get to the level of these runners in a hurry. You really need to put in a lot of time and runs.
That's gonna be
get
true
this
for
far.
anything, though. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a really nice. It's like I think it's out of all the Pokemon runs that I attempted, I think this is my favorite to just play as a speedrun. I'm not sure
Yeah.
about you two. I'm
No,
sure.
definitely. I came from Colosseum, and first of all, this game is really accessible. You don't need a lot to start with. You can still get a Switch in the game fairly easily, I guess. And again, it's not all about manipulation and all that stuff. It's really about thinking on the fly, and that what makes this game so great.
You don't have to back out of a menu 58 times to get to your.
Yeah, exactly.
I think most people are either love or hate on this game, but I get the feeling over time that more people are in the. Like, people seem to be coming back to this game. Because when
Yeah,
Sword and Shield came out, there was, of course, everyone tried that out for a bit, but it seems like most runners from this game have come back, basically.
I mean, don't you love to spend another 2 hours in a game that is a lot of cutscenes?
No, I
and-
hated it personally. I
Exactly.
mean, yeah.
And I mean, we're at Kerbis' screen now. Just look at like the paintings that are in this office. There's like a beautiful Zapdos painting. This game has so much like beautiful detail that even if you just like look at the speedrun, you can watch. There's like amazing posters and paintings everywhere.
Yeah.
And it has like, I mean, some of the things are not nice. I mean, they improved a few things in Sword and Shield for sure. Like the text pointer, like where you are in your menu, either resetting or not resetting, or being able to press B to go to no in some of the menus. This game, like if you want to not learn a move, you actually have to press it down and A instead of pressing B to immediately go to no, I don't want to learn a move. But like all the overworld spawns, you can are really nice. You can actually see a shiny in the overworld. That's really cool. That always like gives some extra hype.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I
it's
think
more, yeah, if you're gonna compare it to Sword and Shield, one of the things that this game has going for it is just that the battles, just the text and the speed at which the health bars go down and stuff like this is just a lot faster.
yeah. And I
But
think
try-
the more optimized the run is and will get, the more fun it is to run. Because I don't know how much the route has evolved before Sword and Shield came out, but I think at this stage it's just super easy to learn, hard to master, as a game
Yeah.
should be, in my opinion.
And there's a lot of things you can do to either make it safer but slower, and that you can take insane risks for. There's the ace trainer Naomi, who you can take a 4 out of 5 chance 3 hours in, but you'll die if you miss it.
Yeah,
Just to save 10 seconds.
Yeah, you save either 8 seconds or you lose 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
That's kind of, yeah. So you can pretty much tailor how much risk you want to take, which is really cool.
But yeah, if you're interested in running this game, there's a speedruns.com page, and there's a Discord. And in the Discord and in the speedrun, they have like a lot of resources with beginner guides and catch route guides and when do I catch something, when do I evolve something, all that. It's all like very clear and very easy to follow.
Yeah.
So that's like really a recommendation if you're like, oh, I want to try this out. Your first run will probably take like 4.5 hours, I expect. If you practice a bit, like practice catching, there's even like a very good catch tutorial by Etiquette on how you can like how to hold the controller, how to make sure you're like synchronized. It's very nice for this game, and yeah, very beginner friendly. So I really recommend it, trying it out if you're interested even a tiny bit. And like maybe your first run takes like 4.5 hours, but your second run will be well, it won't take 4 hours. It will be sub 4 hours.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
anyone can get sub 3:30 with a little bit of practice. I would say.
Definitely. And I would actually really recommend the Discord first, because I believe that the current routes aren't actually yet on speedrun.com. At least the ones that are maintained as of the moment. That's what I think. And second, there's a lot of people you can ask, a lot of questions, and people are happy to help. So if you're interested, join the Switch Discord for Pokemon speedrunning. And of course, while we're on that, if you want to learn, here are 8 amazing streamers you can watch and learn. Go give them a follow. If you really want to like them, go give them a sub or something. There's a lot more, but this is the creme de la creme right here. So
yeah, and they're always willing to, like, if you have a question. I mean, personally, I'm almost always in Etiquette's chat. If you ever have a question, we're happy to answer and help you out. And I'm sure that's the same for all the other runners as well.
what does the X of 50 mean? Yeah, it's basically how many Pokemon out of the 50 you need for Koga's gym.
Yeah, every gym in this game has a gym requirement. You need to actually be able to enter the gym. For Brock, you need either a water or a grass Pokemon to teach you about type advantages. Even though there isn't a water Pokemon available by that point, but there is like a choice of 2 grass Pokemons you can find. For Misty, you need to be level 15. For Surge, you need to be able to have Cut. So that means beating the SSN.
Yeah, that one's not really a requirement. I mean.
No, but I mean, like that's
yeah.
the same for like for Blaine, you need to be able to beat Pokemon Mansion and find the key.
Yeah.
That's the requirement there. But yeah, for the run at least, like the hardest one is Koga. You need 50 catches. That doesn't mean you have to like literally like throw balls at 50 Pokemon. Evolutions count. A fun fact for that is that there are like 3 places where you can get the starter Pokemons as a gift Pokemon. So you can get a Charmander, a Squirtle, or Bulbasaur. Those actually count how many Pokemon you literally caught. So that's like a weird...
Yeah, it's basically about how many different types of Pokemon you have had in your inventory, I suppose.
Yeah, just like Dex flags.
Yeah. Which is a bit confusing because to get the gift Pokemon starters, you actually need a certain amount of actual catches, right?
Yeah, and
Yeah,
it could even be the same Pokemon. Weirdly enough, you can like catch like 40 Weedles, and then I think the first one you can pick up is Charmander for 40.
Yeah,
so yeah,
Charmander
that's
is...
kind of weird.
I think Bulbasaur 30, Charmander 40.
Yeah, I think by the time you've caught 40 Weedles, you have caught Bulbasaur.
And a question by Charmander Gamer. The streamers are controlling all the all the figures you see, like the Dex, they're using a Dex tracker. Yeah, you can't really see that, but normally if you go to one of their streams, like if they're streaming regularly, they have like a Dex, a Pokédex on screen, where they show what Pokemon they're planning on catching, what Pokemon they caught, and there are like two different resources you can use for that. There's an online version and etiquette build version of a Dex, and so that's what they're using. So to show like the for example, like Kirby says 50 out of 50. So that's just him tracking the catches on his Dex, and that just shows up here.
Yeah, and I want to highlight something else in chat coming up. There's not only any percent in this game, right? This event, of course, is for the any percent best time, but you can do so much more in a Pokemon game. There's all obtainable Pokemon. There's just getting the diploma, which means even more Pokemon because not every Pokemon is obtainable in your version. There are category extensions like Ditch Bill, or maybe alternate main Pokemon. So you have a vast amount of
True co-op.
ideas to come up and try. Speedrunning doesn't always have to be about the any percent category. You make it your own. You have fun with what you like in speedrunning.
Yeah, and like you have true co-op if you want to try it with a friend and play the game together. That can be a lot of fun. There's the Professor's Oak Challenge, which has been done in a lot of games, and that basically means you have to obtain every possible Pokemon before you beat a gym. So for Brock, since you can catch Bulbasaur, you need to have a Venusaur and a Pidgeot before you actually beat Brock. And for a lot of games, that's like a 40 or 50 hour category. And in Let's Go, I believe Etiquette has like a time below 10 hours. So Professor Oak Challenge in this game is actually like doable in a single stream. If you want to go really long, or just like like you can do it in a day or maybe 2 days. Just way friendlier than doing it in other games, because well, there's a limited amount of Pokemon. Every game has 135 Pokemon in it, so there are 15 version exclusives. And they don't count the Mew or the Melton or the Melmetal, because well, those are basically impossible to get in the single game. You need to either have Pokeball Plus or Pokemon Go to get the other two, or other three.
Ooh, Headstrong going for a Chansey. Go, go,
Oh
go.
yes.
Sorry to
Good
interrupt
going.
you, but this is the...
No. That's more important.
This is the content we are here for.
Exactly. Oh.
It's not perfect. Actually, have we explained this already? So, the XP you get is also calculated by the quality of your throw. You have that little circle in the middle going down, getting smaller and smaller.
Yeah.
And you want to hit that at its possible smallest point, making the throw, the catch rate a lot higher than just chucking it. And you will see in the perfect world, everyone should show it with a catch. There's an excellent coming up. If there's anything else, it wasn't perfect. And it's really hard. One tip to new runners is always try just catching things. Get used to catching. It's really the main thing to get into here.
Spend like 30 minutes attempting different catches, like maybe on your main account. The Switch is very nice that you can just make a second account and use that for speedrunning, so you can still like your own casual playthrough or whatever. You can keep that intact. But you can like practice catching them there, just like at first, like maybe go to like the forest. There are a lot of Pokemon that spawn there. You can just go in and throw Pokeballs and see like how does it feel.
Yeah, I mean, so you can also start out by just playing through the actual game, and maybe you want to do some shiny hunting, and then you're gonna have to catch a lot of Pokemon, and that'll be good practice, and you know, stuff like this.
Yeah, getting the timing for it right. And I mean, there are a few Pokemons that like, for example, like the Zubat or Ghastly, you're just happy if you hit the Pokemon. You don't care if you hit the circle or not. Or Onyx. Onyx is almost impossible to hit the circle at any level.
I'm not sure I've ever seen excellent on Onyx.
I don't think it's possible. And like
Great,
for the casual
definitely.
playthrough, like the legendary birds,
Yeah.
they're like somehow they're like too high up the screen that you can't actually hit them properly at all. So there you just happen to hit them instead of actually like hitting the circle.
In a speedrun, yes. The real trick is to go handheld mode. It's actually possible there.
But then it's a lot harder to get like a window capture and
Yeah,
Well,
a
yeah.
viable run. And it's you lose a lot of EXP by catching. Because in the handheld mode you can play this game in handheld mode. But you miss like a multiplier of like I think it's like 0.1.5 or something. For using Joy-Cons to catch something.
And you cannot use the 2-player strat, which even loses more, right?
Yeah, that's a lot of EXP.
So the weird thing with these Joy-Cons is that if there's a little bit of help, right?
Yeah, it's very generous.
The game really helps you out. This is why all the players you see are very consistent at throwing both balls towards the very center of the screen. It's not because they're that consistent, it's just because the game helps you out. But then when the thing you're trying to catch starts moving all over the place, then actually that kind of changes, and yeah, then the help can sort of turn into a hurdle sometimes.
I see Etiquette catching a Rapidash. They couldn't find a Ponyta.
Mm-hmm.
That's well, that's just a catch you normally like he missing a bonus catch there. So I'm not sure how he hasn't catches, but that could hurt.
Yeah.
Risky, but fine, of course.
So we have, by the way, we have 2 people going into Rock Tunnel right now, and also a question for you guys, especially. Do you guys remember any of the old speedrun strats for this game that have been rendered obsolete?
Well, I actually like when I went practicing again. My time on live split that people used to like track their runs and like splits and such, is from still like the 1 controller days. And so yeah, all the 2 controller fights, 2 controller catches, that's all made the 1 controller strats obsolete. Thankfully, I remember there was a short time where first Pikachu and then Eevee, they used I think a Lowlander trio for a very short while for mostly the underground or the hideout section, because they're like a lot of poison Pokemon, so that's a ground poke is really good there.
Yeah, it's super effective.
And after that they switched to the Kadabra strats. Most people dropped that because Kadabra was way too, well, not consistent enough. You basically had to find a high level Kadabra, and that means finding it on Route 7 after Saffron City, like after the underground tunnel from Lavender Town, and that really sucked. And
Yeah, because the first Archer fight, like nowadays we always one of the big fights is the double Archer fight, but in the 1 controller days, the first Archer fight was also a nightmare, right?
yeah, the 3 worst fights in the 1 controller day were Ted, Scientist Ted in the Mansion. It was Archer, the first Archer fight, and Blue in Silphco on the ground floor. Like these days, you like because you fight, you're starving and you're seeing an Executor. So that just was like a really slow fight where you like first started with the Dodrio, use an X-Attack, kill the Executor, switch out, get hit for a turn. Like it was a fight that could go wrong a lot more.
Yeah.
And yeah, Naomi was very hard. The trainer that's coming up for Kirby's right now in Giovanni's gym was like just a lot of like stupid fights. And so the 2 controller switch was a huge difference that just made things so much nicer and consistent and friendlier.
Yeah, because it's not like this is a very consistent speedrun now. I mean, it's still packed with all kinds of things that can go wrong, and
Mostly on this level, because I mean these runners are just going for like the best of the best in runs.
yeah.
But like
Oh,
for a first time runner, the wrong controller days were awful, because even if you like were very safe, you still had like 5 or 6 fights that you just could ruin your day.
I mean, you can
Purpose
see it.
just power
Yeah.
of love live that?
No, 5 HP. But that's a perfect example of one of the risks. So you could two-controller that fight and just use an next special item and use Scald or whatever. But it's a bit faster to just not use that in Hydro Pump, but Hydro Pump has a 20% chance to miss, and we actually saw that happened. And then Starmie lived with 5 HP, so that means it's kind of likely that there was also a chance that it would have just straight up killed the Starmie there. So yeah, there's constantly some small risks you're taking if you want the best times.
And in the very early days, like the first speedruns of this game, people weren't aware yet of the power of Starmie or Staryu. I think someone attempted to. They're on the water on Route 21 where they catch the Staryu. What etiquettes do now. Starmie can also spawn, and people tried that. But Starmie doesn't learn or doesn't have Psychic, I believe, and Staryu does. So like, it took a while to find that. So in the first speedruns, they actually used the fossils.
Yeah.
The Fossy Posse. And that was both like they picked the Kabuto and Kabutops, because Kabutops learned some very powerful moves, like Leech Life, which is like a really powerful move in this game. And they bought Waterfall at the Celadon market, which is a really powerful physical water move, and Aerodactyl for some of the fights. And
Yeah,
so,
but in the end, it's just too slow, right?
Yeah, I mean that was like the beginning, and then
Yeah.
I'm not sure who found the strat with catching a Staryu and then evolving that. But yeah, that quickly became the main strat.
Yeah, and I would imagine the different trainer skips that we use today.
Yeah.
Of course, them being found over time.
Well, yeah, like
I don't know how quickly.
I think like most of them were actually found pretty quickly. Like the one on Route 25. I think that was like one of the first day skips. The run on Route 6 towards Vermilion City, Ward have said before during his commentary that like on the first day he was like, oh, like when the game just came out, he was like, ooh, I'm going to try to force a double battle here. So he walked straight in between them and he was like, wait, I'm not finding either one of them. So he actually found that trainer skip on the first day.
Yeah, that was
like,
kind of obvious to try, right?
Yeah, but like a really surprising result. It was like, oh, what's going to happen here? I'm going to try double fight. Oh, neither. That's good. And the one on 17 and in Victory Road, they were a bit later.
Yeah, the one in Victory Road seems the toughest to find, I think.
I mean, they were like really, they're basically the same type of technique used, because you have a right Pokemon and you go into a corner so the right Pokemon despawns, and then you walk around the edge. And yeah, it looked to be like not possible, but it turned out to be viable. It's still like really close, like you don't have much room for it, but yeah. And
the trainers are blind.
Yeah, and maybe the blindest trainer is in Lavender Tower. There's a spinner there that you can pass that actually spins looking toward you, but if you are like either to like the bottom or the top of like a one tile lane, that trainer won't see you.
It's the same concept as the skips, I think.
Yeah, it's just it's a bit weird. Like they're really like even if you're not, even if it's a one tile gap, if you're on the edge of it, that's still good enough to pass. So
let's see what kind of pace Kervis is on now.
Yeah.
kind of curious.
Kind of
how-
grasping. I think world record enters Victory Road at around 240.51. Yeah, there we go. So I would believe
That's Lorelei 251.
no
Beating
240.52.
Yeah, because he beats right.
I'm just
239.30.
I'm just in the video, so that would be maybe 90 seconds behind world record, something like that.
Yeah, the world record beats Rifle at 239.30. And so this is like
Right,
2 seconds,
so
a bit
2
more,
minutes.
a bit more than, 2.5 minutes behind. But that's like
Oh.
really good pace for this.
Yeah.
It's like it's on pace to beat JS's fastest time so far.
Yeah, it's gonna be very close, I would say.
Yeah. Etiquette, I think, is also on quite a good run.
No, he's not really liking it.
He's not
Well, he
really
said-
liking it.
From what he said earlier, he's very likely to reset a lane.
Yeah, you're right. He did. Maybe I'm just comparing to my own runs.
Yeah, I mean it's a matter of perspective, right? If you're, well, if you're even just a few minutes slower, then you would kill for a run like that. But if you're the world record holder, then you
But I
need
mean,
a certain
maybe
quality.
it got him better. I'm not sure if he's how he is on catches. He has everything yet.
Well, if I am correct, he actually is.
Oh yeah, he's saying he's on like high 302, low 303 pace.
Yeah, because he
I mean,
actually, I think, is almost tied with his. Yeah, he's pretty much tied with world record right now.
Yeah, just a catch difference.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if he's like, if he actually has the Pokemon and just needs to evolve because world record was done with catching by now.
I mean, look, a high 302 or even a low 303 could just win this thing, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, it's actually very likely that this event is like. I mean, we're all hoping to find to get a world record, but I mean, a lot of these runners have been preparing for this event and been running a lot in the last weeks or months even, and
It is
We
too
haven't-
less caught.
we haven't gotten a world record. JS's Pikachu world record is from 3 months ago, and Etiquette's world record is like almost 2 years, or yeah, almost 2 years ago now.
It was uploaded to YouTube September 27, 2019.
It's 25th. Set it on the 25th of
So, yeah.
September. So yeah, that's almost 2 years ago. So that's a really old world record. And I mean, all of them have been going really hard for it. So it's still like we hope for it, but it's still like somewhat unlikely because the runs, even though they can be improved, there's still so much luck factor in this to get like you need to have good execution and you need to have like the good spawns, the good EXP, hit some ranges, hit some hydro pumps to actually get the world record.
And to be honest, I mean, I think these are all great players for sure. But there are small differences in. I mean, I think there are definitely a few players who will be able to get the lower 304, high 303 times more consistently than some of the other players, right?
Yeah, I mean, we just have to say like, I think that Etiquette is the most consistent runner out of these. Like even in his practice, he had so many.
Yeah.
Like he just reset 303 pace runs because they were too slow for him because he was grinding for the world record. But it happens a lot.
And rightfully so, right? I mean, if you already had 10 303 runs or whatever, then why would you need an 11th?
He has so many high times, and I mean, all of them are capable of getting like a really good time.
Yeah, and everyone has the potential of being that consistent. We saw with I think Caternies has only started recently, right? And is already really good.
Yeah.
Caternies
is the most recent or newest runner of this group to the game, but yeah, really put the time in, really grinded it out, and Seaward got him, like in this amazing event, with so far the 4th time on the leaderboard.
Yeah.
I mean, matching his own PB. I mean, you can't really hope for more on an event like this to actually like match your PB. That's just an amazing feeling, and there's still room to improve. And as we heard in the
I mean, from the interview, it kind of
yeah.
sounded like there's a good chance it's gonna go down this weekend.
Yeah, he's motivated for it for sure.
It actually sounded almost exactly the way that I described it, right? Where it was already kind of bouncing up against that time, but had a bunch of runs with some bad luck, and then, always something kind of bad or unlucky happened. So it just sounds like the kind of thing where one run really needs to come together, and then Cairnese will just beat the record, his previous record, by more than a minute, maybe even 2 minutes. Maybe even get close to the world record with exceptional RNG,
Kerberos is trying to skip. Look how careful he is, but he managed it.
Yeah.
Very good.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm a
that's
bit
the
behind.
safety strat right there.
Yeah, but even then, like just like a tiny bit too high, and you still hit the trainer. So it's very close.
That's how I passed that trainer. When I mean, I get a heart attack when I see someone like Etiquette do it just in one fell swoop without barely not even slowing down, It's like, ooh. But that just, yeah.
That shows like the experience of like the many runs he has in this game.
That's exactly what I was going to say. That just shows you how practiced he is, that he's 2 hours and 45 minutes in or something, and then just knows exactly what to do.
Yeah, he's been like one of the most. He's by far the most active of the runners in like mostly in the beginning of when this game came out. He just kept playing this game. He was one of the first world record holders.
And it's not like nothing happened since. It's just that when he set the world record that's still standing currently, it was a massive cut, right?
Yeah, exactly. But like even like I think like one of his first runs was like a 3:34 or something. That was a world record, and then it was beaten like a 3:32 by Kieseron, I believe. Kieseron actually held this world record for like a day or two. Fun fact. So yeah, it's but he just kept playing and playing even when a lot of other people quit, and he just kept playing. He could show off the game during the GDQ run. It was like a really good showcase of this game. And if you're like interested in even watching more of this event, that's definitely worth a watch. It has all the hype that you could want from these types of runs, especially with the live audience. We had shinies, we had a catching number mistake. We had Eevee petting. You can pet the Eevee in this game, or the Pikachu. Let's hope we'll see that if one of these runners feels like it. After a run, of course. See if we can get some pets for good luck.
Just go on a 2:58 pace, and then you have the time
I like that.
to pet it before champion.
Yeah, waste that time.
Yeah.
Well, then you're just really dunking on the competition.
I mean, who's gonna beat that for now?
Well, I mean, that was like when Etiquette set his world record in 2019. It was like basically like a sort of a punch to his competition. Like, this is done. This is my world record, and good luck. And like you can see, like a lot of people who ran that game at that point just quit playing Eevee, and even for like a lot of these runners that are running Pikachu now, they came back to the game later and saw like the Eevee world record and were like, nope, let's try the Pikachu. That's a lot more manageable, and they really improved the game. And like at the time, I think like when Etiquette set his world record in Eevee, the Pikachu time was like a 3:05.
Maybe even a 3:06.
Also by Etiquette, I believe.
Yeah.
And they just like went to that game, and so a lot more people started playing Pikachu and like put all their effort in that. And you can see that really paid off with like some really nice strategy and tech.
Yeah. And now the cool thing is that even though the 30208 hasn't been broken yet, enough people have gotten close enough that it feels like it's just a matter of time, right?
Yeah.
Like Gym Freak, for example, who we talked to for a bit earlier, he just casually, or the Gym Freak just casually put up a 305 with all kinds of stuff going completely haywire, and then just still a 305, you know?
Yeah.
That's the kind of player.
And you could hear it in the people we talk to, right? There's a drive, a motivation to absolutely go.
And since the beginning of May, 3 runners, Etchy, Gym Freak, and Saiyan, put up a 302 in Eevee. And so you really can feel like that push for like, we can do this, we can get there. There's like the belief in that. And part of it is also because of this amazing event, that people really started like running this again, and that really did this game good. It's nice to see like so many people running this and pushing for it. And I mean, yeah, the hope is still to get like a sub 3. It's going to be like a crazy run. It's probably technically possible, but like very unlikely. But like how these runners are going for it, I mean, it is on the table, and let's just hope for that.
Or just, you know, use some new technologies.
Now, Kirby's going into Lorelei, or actually being halfway through Lorelei. Just gonna quickly compare with world record to see where we are. I believe world record finishes around...
Still like 2.5 minutes
yeah.
behind.
Finishes at 2:51.07.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, and I mean, Kirby's is
2.5
definitely
minutes behind.
Kirby's is definitely plenty good enough that if nothing eventful happens, then the times aren't gonna differentiate much, right? Like the 2.5 minute gap will stay pretty much a 2.5 minute gap unless something crazy happens.
Yeah, which means that my head math is terrible, but this could
That means it's
be
super
a
close.
second place contender for now.
It's super
yeah,
close.
it's on that,
for
it's
sure.
on that pace. I mean, it's and Kirby's is like, well, Etiquette was mostly focused on Eevee. Kirby's is the one who put a lot of time and effort on playing Pikachu for a long while. Very experienced.
Yeah,
But
and
by this time, it doesn't matter anymore, right?
if you didn't know, and I repeat this is not a for fun event, as you would say. These runners have very much an incentive to compete because there is a money pot you can actually join into if you want to. You can, if you want to, you don't have to. But if you type in, I think, ! Blitz in the chat, there should be a link coming up where you can contribute. And at this point, I don't know who Schultzor was who donated $1,000 to the pot, but Jordan97, the person that organized this event, these two together have put up a majority, the lion's share of this pot. And if you want to support events like these or the runners, you can go to them directly. Again, you can also participate here because it is a great event.
Yeah, you can just like donate to the page, and all the proceedings go to the runners, and give them a nice prize to play for. Everyone's going to get like a payout. Even the last place at the moment is slated to walk home with $83. I mean that's just nice for like a speed running that most of these just do for a hobby. And the winner is getting almost $500 as it stands now. And yeah, if you're interested, you can donate on that Blitz page, also the Blitz command page. and show your appreciation.
I gotta get in
Yeah.
on this next time.
You still can. But yeah.
Well,
as
I'm not.
always,
I was just saying, like,
free,
I'm not
free
gonna...
to watch and participate, and always appreciate it if you want to donate.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna get the $83 for 8th place. So.
I would not even get those if I competed. So let's just be happy that we have top runners to watch, which we are doing right now. With Jim Freak heading into the second to last, I believe, Jess and James fight.
There's so many runs going now.
Yeah, it is absolutely bonkers. A lot of them being in Hideout or in the Lavender Tower.
Yeah.
To be honest, only Headstrong and Caternies are still in the part of the game where resets really frequently occur.
Yeah, with like two runners, like two pairs were very close with Etchy and JS in the underground or in the hideout, very close together.
Yeah, Jim Freak and Saiyan in Lavender Tower.
Yeah, you see that Saiyan is like very far behind on catches, only 33 compared to the 37, but ahead on time. And yeah, that's just a very that's also like it's sometimes hard to see like which player is actually in front if they're so close together.
Yeah.
Because you need those 50 catches and like just catching a Pokemon takes time or evolving a Pokemon takes time. We use like a little like as like a help. It's easy to just like per Pokemon that someone is ahead or behind, add or subtract 30 seconds to run. That's just easy. It's pretty much accurate. It's like, or at least it's very close.
I would even say 40, to be honest.
Well, for evolving, it's like 26 or something seconds.
Yeah, but all the text from the it depends which one. But if you have
Yeah.
something that needs 4 levels and learns a move, then it's probably close to 40 already. And then catching something with 2 controllers, And then sometimes you miss or something breaks out or takes a while to attack. So I think on average 40 seconds per catch is a lot better than 30.
30 is just really easy to calculate. I mean, 2 Pokemons is a minute.
Yeah,
It's
or
just,
3 is 2 minutes, but yeah. Doesn't really matter. To be honest, the best way to compare is just after everyone's caught 50.
Yeah, they're like a few points where it's like it's a bit easier to like compare catches because it should be pretty like after leaving Rock Tunnel. That's always like a it's a bit like it's like nearly halfway in the run, and that's like a very good representation of how things are going. You can see the catches and the pace, and I mean level is also important there. And indeed after Koga, because well at Koga you need to have 50 Pokemon.
Yeah, I just tuned into Saiyan's stream, and he is missing the Pidgey line and the Psyduck line completely, which means he could make that time up really easily on Route 17. Also, he didn't get the Abracadabra, so this is what he's missing in really important Pokemon.
Yeah, so it's more like required to like find those on Route 17.
But it's nothing hard to make up, which is kind of good.
I haven't been paying super close attention, but I think Kerbis is still... nothing super eventful happened, so I'm assuming if his Starmie is good enough to now hit this and that this is not a range, then yeah, there you go. Then it really looks like might be, if the last fight goes well, then I think it's gonna be a new best time.
It's 2 minutes and about 20 seconds at this point.
Compared to the world record?
Yes.
Yeah. So so if
like
nothing goes too horribly wrong, that would land around 304 and a half.
30-ish.
Yeah.
Which would be a first place for now. So let's hope that Pidgeot is nice.
Yeah, because
does not crit.
This is the last big hurdle of this speed run.
Yeah, and it might be our last finished run because our time in commentary is actually coming to an end pretty soon.
For sure, yeah.
But yeah.
Definitely not the last run of the day that's gonna finish
No.
though, to be clear, because there's gonna.
Yes.
It's just we're becoming a bit washed up after 3 hours of commentating, so
Yeah, we're
gonna
only
be
halfway.
pushed out.
We're only halfway there. There's
Yeah,
still
there's
6 more
6
hours
hours.
after this, and that just means they have like 6 more hours to get on the run because every runner is allowed to finish the run they started within those 12 hours. I mean, I'm sure like Jordan doesn't hope for it, but it could be 9 more hours till we're actually finished today.
I mean, someone's gonna start, be an hour in on a run, right?
Well, I mean, if someone is like 10 minutes in on a run, that's gonna be.
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, there's even more extreme case, but I'm saying like out of 8 people, there's gonna be someone who's gonna be at halfway
won't,
in a run or something.
it won't finish in 6 hours. It will be longer. Well,
I
looks
guess
like Pidgeot was nice to curb it.
Yeah. It was.
I guess the question is also a little bit how much fatigue or something like that is gonna set in with the runners themselves, right?
Yeah. But I think they've been pretty good with taking breaks after runs so far.
Yeah.
Like we've seen breaks take anywhere between 10 to 30 minutes, I believe.
Yeah, everyone's just taking a break so
Yeah.
far. And also for you, chat, I mean, stretch your legs, get a drink, eat something. It's important if you want to power out these. There's always something to watch, but I mean, it's also important to not just sit and watch. Hydrate.
I mean, heck, go outside for an hour. I don't care. Just come back afterwards, you know?
Yeah, now that we're almost done with talking, you can go outside and leave us.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best part of the event is clearly about to be over, so...
No.
Well, I have another shift tomorrow, so...
Yeah, but is it gonna be filled with dad jokes again?
I mean,
Probably not.
I'm there with Wartap. I can make it happen.
Oh, look at
Sure.
that. 3:03:27 or something when he beat
3:03.
it, and then it's a minute to click to the end, so... Looks like...
It
well,
will
you
be
best.
close, but this might be a...
At this point, probably even if Kerbis breaks his wrist, he can still button mash fast enough to get first place here.
Yeah, a temporary first place.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's gonna be. Yeah, it's hard to
Yeah.
imagine that this time isn't gonna be broken. But hey, I mean, first place is first place.
Yeah, and getting a good time down as his first time is really important at this point. I mean, a quarter of this event is already over, which is insane.
I was gonna say that it seems unlikely that this is gonna be first place at the end of the event, but it also seems very unlikely that all 7 other runners are gonna get a faster time than this, right?
3:04:24. That's a really good time. Yeah. I mean, like, Catherine's its PB is 3:05:59, so he really has to improve a lot to be able to hit this. So yeah, it's a really solid time.
Yeah, and odds are that one of these 8 players is also just gonna get unlucky and not finish a good run.
Yeah, it's always.
Yeah. I mean, that is also for a, let's say, marathon event. It's not quite a marathon, but it's only 90 seconds behind his PB. Not even. Which is still pretty good. For a
very good.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, think of all the tens, maybe hundreds of runs at resets he attempted to get to his PB.
Definitely. Well, I think this could or should be a good point to say goodbye from us.
If Jordan is ready for it.
Yeah, if Jordan is ready for it. It's been a blast. Thank you guys for listening to us. Again, follow these amazing speedrunners. If you want to join the Discord, you can find us wherever you want to, but we're always on. So, good night and goodbye.
And just give it a try if you want to run. Nothing can go wrong.
Yeah, thanks Jake and thanks Soup for the fun times we had together, and good luck the runners and their next commentary trio. We have Corby May, she's back. Josh, the 4th Gen Jamer is coming, and Thomas Patrick, our favorite Pokemon weatherman. They'll be with you for the next 3 hours, and good luck to them.
Good luck, have fun.
Definitely.